as far as I know.
It's not
Potentially
filters.
it's filters. I'd like to talk to you about service, and if people follow our shorts on the dog gaze, and you should subscribe because we do an awful lot of content that is not just the weekly episode,
Yeah,
and that
there
will
will
go
be a link
straight
at
to
the
your
end.
phone. Yeah, service has been really strange because I got to the hotel the other day, grumpy old man. I mean, I should have had something in common with him, who did not want to be there. So I arrived on Saturday and he didn't want to be there. And you can tell just by his whole shuffling demeanor that, oh God, it's another guest. I don't want to have to um, check you in or do anything at all. And so begrudgingly, I got my key in the end. And it was like, okay. So I went up to the room.
So just
Safe
for
didn't work.
context, this is somewhere that you've stayed before and had huge success
Oh, yeah,
with.
yeah, yeah. Well, the reason that I booked it again
Mm.
was the team was fabulous last time, and it was like, oh, has it been taken over by someone? Is it really? Is it the grumpy man's hotel? I don't know. So so my safe didn't work, and I don't know if you do this, Mark. I always check the safe before I put anything in it. Do you do that?
But for what? Pitch something that somebody might have left.
No, you know that you've got to put your own code in.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I close it, put the code in, just to make
Oh,
sure that it works, that you can open it again.
to test it rather than check it, test it. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And so I did that and it wouldn't open. And it's like, so that was annoying. So I went downstairs,
But
and bear in
luckily,
mind, I
nothing
don't speak any
inside it at
Italian.
this point.
No,
Yeah.
I don't speak any Italian, but Google Translate is my friend. And I have to say, hats off to Google Translate. I'm quite impressed with it. Um, but trying to make myself understood to this Italian guy on reception that there wasn't anything in the safe, but it was locked, that seemed to be
Help.
almost impossible, I have to say.
Mm.
And he eventually is like, what's in it? What's in it? It's like, nothing's in it. It's like, can't do anything till Monday. What? So anyway, um,
Good
so the
job it
first,
didn't have your passport in it and you were leaving on Sunday.
absolutely, absolutely right. So I went to the restaurant that night and I had something which I love calamari, the squid rings,
Mm. Mm.
and I love lightly
Me
battered
too.
deep fried squid. And as a treat, that's a good thing. And it said on the menu, in the English menu, they gave me the English menu. It said
Because we do expect
lightly
the world to
fried.
speak English.
It said lightly fried calamari with carrots, courgettes, and potatoes. Expecting lightly fried calamari with like some beautifully maybe steamed broccoli, some steamed courgette and carrot and potatoes, and you're like new potatoes there.
Because we're
What
being healthy,
came?
right?
What came was this monstrosity of fried everything in batter, literally courgette in batter, and it's like, oh my god! And I looked at it and I thought, oh Christ, I don't want to eat that.
Today's meal is sponsored by Bertoli.
Sponsored by Heart Attack. So, so that wasn't very good. I later checked with somebody at the company that I was working with, the translator, and she went, "Ah, no, it's a speciality in Italy, but they didn't translate it properly. They should have said fried potatoes, fried carrots, fried courgettes."
Were they all in batter and things like that? And
Yeah, yeah. It was so
okay,
heavy. I, I had about a third of it, and then just I couldn't do
yeah.
anymore.
I mean, courgettes are like 95% water anyway. So if you put a
Yes.
courgette in a deep fat fry, you're asking for trouble, aren't you?
Aren't you? Aren't you? But there we go. Such is life. Anyway, so on this service thing, the next morning, I went down the session, and lo and behold, the really nice young team is back on. I had encountered the last visit. And so I said to them, oh, my safe doesn't work. And the aircon had been clanking all the way through. There is nothing worse than staying in a hotel with clanking aircon.
Mm.
So that was noisy, and I didn't sleep very much the first night. Do you know what? This team on reception, just as I had made my mind up to a 0 star review on TripAdvisor, literally changed my room, no fuss, within 5 minutes, all done, no problem, full of apology. Have been really lovely ever since.
Do you know what's clear from that is that no matter how good the hotel is, one person
Yes.
can make your reputation and the ability of you the likelihood of you returning so remote that no matter
Yeah.
how much money you throw into that hotel, you ain't getting people back that already tried it because that person is giving your hotel a bad name.
What I have a
Mm.
horrible suspicion about is that he might be the owner or the general manager,
Oh, right. Okay. So he's got very good staff, but he's useless.
not when he has to do it. Yeah.
Mm. Mm.
I
Interesting,
don't know.
because we stay somewhere every year. You and I, we stay somewhere every year for our September holiday. Same place, same crew, same crowd, and they could not be any more accommodating every single time. Which is why we go back time and
Yeah,
time and
exactly.
go back almost a year, and you'll find one or two of our episodes from there. Um,
I think also that's why we have a 9.9 star TripAdvisor or
mm,
rating
mm.
or whatever it is, about as high as you possibly can get. Because also, if anybody has a problem, they will sort it out just like that. They want
But,
you
but
to be
but
happy there.
interestingly, it's not the most luxurious of places I've ever stayed. I wouldn't say it was 5 star. I wouldn't say it's a good 3 4 star, but it's not luxury, and yet you feel like it's luxury because of the way that you're treated whilst you're there. So bad service, yeah, it's ideal for us because it allows us to be grumpy about something legitimate. Um, but yeah, hotels are
Doesn't
notorious
sound like
for it.
us.
Doesn't sound like us at all, at all. But I
That's very.
think
So no, I was just going to say it's very true. Have you had any particularly poor service on your travels over the years? Because of course you used to travel.
I did travel an awful lot, and I've been everywhere from the Middle East um, to London, and I think the poor service has often been actually the travel more than the hotels. Because I think
Okay.
the further away from what I call home, the further away from GMT we go, I think
Yeah.
the more customer driven. You go to somewhere like Manila, and they cannot do enough for you. If you I can remember, I was staying in the Philippines in Manila on my birthday. Didn't tell them it was my birthday. I had no reason to tell them it was my birthday, but I
They
checked in
knew
the
from your
day before.
passport.
Well, I know the clue is on the passport, but that doesn't have that's over and above, isn't it? When somebody's going, oh, this customer is staying here on his birthday, alone, working, and when I came home from work the following day, from
Escort.
back from, mm,
Did they send you an escort?
yeah, Brad Pitt was waiting. When I got back from
Really?
the when I got back, it was just simply a birthday cake because I had a suite. So I walked into the hallway of this suite, and there on the table, circular table in the hallway, was a cake with my name on it,
Wow.
with a candle, saying "Happy Birthday, Mark." And I was like, at first I thought maybe the company that I was visiting and doing some training at,
Yeah.
maybe they had arranged it, because they had to arrange a visa for me, so they had my day. But no, it was the hotel. It's the hotel, and I thought that's the kind of touches that make you go, okay, it was the Four Seasons in Manila, but I will go back there time and time. But the worst ones have been probably the airlines. The airlines just, I don't know whether it's poor training. I don't know whether it's uh, they're overworked and maybe
They
on
do
the
have to
cusp of.
deal with an awful lot
Oh,
of
I know.
horrible people.
Oh, you and I have travelled cattle class and business class, and we've witnessed some really bad travellers around
I even
us.
did I even did first class once. Once. I was upgraded. I didn't pay for it.
But
I wouldn't pay.
there's no pattern to how much people have paid for their ticket as to how badly they are behaving with it. But there are also times where you just think this is poor service. This is so I think my worst one was coming back from it might have even been Manila actually. It coming back and it was a stopover in in Tokyo,
Yep.
and it was a 4 hour stopover, so no leaving the airport.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
get off. All your luggage is being transferred. All you have to do is go
Open
through
grinder.
go through transfers, find the lounge, have a few drinks, wait for it to be called, and get back on the next plane. I think 2 or 4 hours. Do a bit of shopping. Those 4 hours turned into 24 hours
Oh,
and nobody told us anything. Now, bearing in mind, I'd got off one, I won't name the airline, I got off one of their planes and was due to get on another one of their planes in 4 hours time, 2, 4 hours time. So it wasn't like, oh, we're leaving it to that airline to do, and that airline thought you, same airline, knew that there were passengers waiting, just if nothing else, there are hundreds of passengers, not just business class, waiting for that plane. Tell us something. Because after an
yeah.
hour, you're like, oh, it's okay. We're in a lounge. We've got drink. We've got food. It's all on tap. But then it gets to a point where the staff go, well, we're going home now
Yeah.
because
And we're
the last
closing.
flight has gone on our timetable. It's not our fault that your flight is late. So they leave you in the lounge, and you know those in the 70s, if you're as old as him, in the 70s, they had bars where they pulled down the shutters on bars
Yes.
at the
Yeah.
end of the just to annoy anyone that was still there after closing time to try and get rid
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah.
There are no more drinks. Bring the shutters down. It was like that. They literally brought the shutters down, and we
Wow.
said you could leave us a tray of or an open, the breakfast bar area where there were fridges and all, everything was being set up for breakfast. You could just leave us some cold drinks. You could just leave us some croissants, those long life croissants. You could leave us something.
Yes.
Nothing, nothing. So we sat there and then we saw them go home and we saw
Was
them
this
come.
all the passengers or just the smart ones who flew business class?
Well, we
Were
were in
the
the
others in
lounge because
cabin
we were
class
busy, but
lounge?
the cattle class were out literally on the hard top chairs
Yeah.
that you
Okay.
see. So then we saw them go home and we saw them come back 8 hours later. And we
Wow.
went, yeah, we're ready for breakfast now. We've been here stiff neck all night long, albeit on comfy chairs, but we saw breakfast. Of course, all the other passengers are arriving
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
business
Yeah.
class. So now it's like we're not just we're cramped
Yeah.
up now because we've had this place to ourselves overnight, but now there's hundreds of passengers coming through. So we saw them clear breakfast away. We saw lunch being prepared. I mean, we were fed, but we were told nothing. So every so often we'd say, it's your turn. You go and see if there's anything going on at the gate because we're so far from the gate that they might have just forgotten to come and tell us. And the electronic board was saying delay, delay, delay. But and it was 24 hours, and in 24 hours, nothing. And then when I get home, 24 hours later, back to Heathrow, no suitcase. So you're
No.
waiting at the carousel and everyone's getting their suitcase, and you're thinking, well, the business and first class passengers have got theirs. Why am I still stood here? No suitcase. No suitcase. No, no. Are you okay getting home? Because we've delayed you by 24 hours. So you've got to arrange a taxi. So get home. Um, do the paperwork before you leave for the case.
And
Still,
were you fuming through this,
I was
or were you?
you know me when I'm angry, and
Yeah.
actually I was I don't think my you had that expression, my piss was boiling. So got home and I was so angry I got straight onto Twitter and made a very stern tweet, and tracked see if I could track anyone else. Anyway,
Yeah.
to cut a long story short, the following day I get a text message to say, we've got your suitcase. Relief, good, because there's lots of training
Yeah.
equipment
Yeah.
in there, and yeah. So, and we will be. And how do I get it? We will get it to you. Don't you worry. We will get it to you. Okay, you're redeeming yourself a little bit. Waited in all day. Knock at the door. It was a taxi driver and the taxi had my suitcase in one piece, nothing damaged,
Oh, at
nothing
least they
broken.
sent it to you.
Hmm?
At least they sent it to you.
Oh yeah, they sent it. But my argument was, you treated my suitcase better than you treated me
Yeah.
because you got my suitcase a taxi home, but you didn't give a toss about how I got home. So the person that was due to pick me up yesterday could now not pick me up today, and I didn't know how to arrange somebody else to say, well, I could be 20 hours, I could be 15 hours, I could be 3 days before. So I had to get the underground, three buses and a tube to get home. And yeah, that was the worst one. I could name the airline,
No point.
but I've never flown Singapore since.
Got a different story about Singapore Airlines, but I think I'm on the previous episode, so you'll have to go back.
That's my worst
Seeing as
one. I think that's the most angry one. I mean, there are comical ones where you've sent your dinner back
let's
3 times.
tell you what, let's save comical ones because this is a gold mine of content. Grumpy service, I have to say. But just while we're away, I think that's because people don't like watching us. Well, watching us. So maybe service,
I'm really sorry you faded out then.
and that's where we're going to leave it.
Oh, okay. That's our parting statement. You faded
That's
out
our
then.
parting shot.